Alrighty, YouTube, what is going on? We are back with another video. I'm, of course, as always, late to the party, but we are going to be talking about this new announcement from the team over at Mattel with WWE. We're going to be talking about this crowdfunder project that they have kind of now hinted at, which is going to be leading to an announcement, I'm sure, maybe at the Mattel Revealed event, maybe this summer. I'm assuming probably the summertime so they can get the votes in and kind of see where they're going to go. I'm sure they have plans for all four options they gave us. I'm going to put a picture up right now of the options that they gave us. They gave us options for a Hell in a Cell for the current Elimination Chamber style, for the old school Elimination Chamber style, or the Punjabi prison match playset. And all of these options I think are fun. They're fun options, but I think that there's two, which I'll talk about later in the video, that really stand out to me as the ones that I hope we get for figure reasons in the whole 9 yards. But now that we're getting back into this, let me just start off by saying, if you don't know what a crowdfunder is, the first one that we got from the Ultimate Edition lineup in Mattel was a crowdfunded new generation play set, you can call it, or ring with figures, whatever you want to call it. It came with multiple accessories. Macho Man was unlocked, Doink the Clown, Diesel, and it came with a entrance, a light up entrance thing that you can have the figures walk through. I did pick that up. It was originally $250, and now we're looking at a big scaled item like an elimination chamber to go around a ring. I've had conversations with my friends. Do we think a ring's coming with this, or will it just be a chamber or a Hell in a Cell or a Punjabi prison? What's it going to be? I don't know. But for those of you that didn't know what the crowdfunder is, basically, let's say they have a mark of 3,000 that they want to hit, which I would assume is high. I can't really remember the exact numbers of the last crowdfunder that went through, but they tried with a WCW Nitro stage and it didn't hit the backers that it needed. So this is going to be interesting to me. They couldn't get the stage. They did get the ring with 3 figures and an entrance, a little WWF entrance walkway for the wrestling figures. But I can't really imagine how much better this is going to be with an entire scale elimination chamber or a Hell in a Cell. I hope it goes well. I'm really hopeful for it, but I'm not entirely sure if this is going to get backed or not, if they need 1,500 to 2,000 backers at a price point that I would imagine has to be like $400. I mean, that's what makes sense to me. Maybe $350, but I think this is going to be pretty expensive. Again, maybe they'll shock us and it'll be $250 to $295, but I doubt it. This is going to be an awesome play set, and it's going to cost some good money, which I'm definitely down to pay up for. But I'm curious, what are your guys' thoughts on that first portion of this video, the crowdfunding? Do you think it's going to work? Do you think we're even going to see this project come to fruition? What's your guys' thoughts on that? I'm very curious. Drop a comment in the section below. But for this second half of the video, I'm going to be basically saying which figures or which Ultimate Editions I think would come with each playset, or maybe it's which ones I want or which ones make sense. So we're going to go into it playset by playset, talk about all 4 of them. Let's get into it, starting off with probably my least favorite option, which would be the Punjabi prison. Let's get into it right now. So I was looking up the Punjabi prison match just to see how many have happened, and I think only 3 have happened in WWE history. So right there, that takes this out of interest for me when it's going up against ones like Hell in a Cell or up against a steel cage match. You know, all of these options. And by the way, I forgot to mention steel cage. It was definitely in the picture, but steel cage match was another option. So there's 5 options here that we can see come to light, and they're all pretty good, but Punjabi prison was just the one that stood out to me that I wouldn't really care to see, but I did do it, and I did make a model of what maybe we would get with it if this was the most voted on of the 5. So number 1, the base, what it would come with, I would imagine would be an Ultimate Edition of the Great Khali, probably wearing his black pants from like 2007, 2008 timeline. That was the first person that came to mind, obviously, when you think about this ring. And we just got him in the Elite Build-A-Figure for the Royal Rumble set for 2024, I believe it was. And he was wearing his red pants, so I was thinking maybe we do a flashback Khali Ultimate with the black pants. That would be what I would imagine would be the first figure you would get if it reaches the minimum amount of backers that it needs to go through. The second figure that I added in there was Batista. Batista actually went one-on-one with Khali in this matchup, and I think he lost. I'm pretty sure he lost that match. You guys drop a comment. Again, my memory's foggy, but you would have to get a Batista versus Khali if you're going that route. So he was my second addition, and in my head, I have it a mock-up would be Khali at the base, let's say 1,000 backers just for fun. Let's say 1,500 or 1,750 you get Batista, and then let's say somehow it hits 2,500 to 3,000 backers. I said maybe you unlock a guy like Jinder Mahal. Maybe they get him under a contract where they can release an Ultimate Edition of him, even though, again, I feel like this is not very sought after. I'm kind of just going with it, guys, so bear with me here. It's going to get better as we move forward, but I said maybe Jinder Mahal gets an Ultimate, or maybe Randy Orton. Randy Orton had competed in this match. So, again, that's my Punjabi Prison. I'm not going to make it too long. That would be my dream booking for that, even though, again, I really don't want this, and I might not even pick it up if it happens. Honestly, I feel like there's so many better options. But, again, drop your comments below. I'm interested to hear what you think on the Punjabi Prison. All right, up next, we got the steel cage that I forgot to mention. Gotta mention it, right? Steel cage, what if we got this playset? What would it look like? For me personally, I didn't vote for the steel cage. I didn't vote for the Punjabi Prison. I actually voted, I told you I'd mentioned the two that I voted for. I voted for the OG Elimination Chamber, and I voted for the Hell in a Cell. And that is because I think we can get some really cool figures with those sets, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But the reason I mentioned this when talking about the steel cage, excuse me, is because if you're going to get the steel cage, why not just get the top of it too? That extra layer of a play set, of a accessory like this. I would rather get the whole cage just going right over. It's a wider cage. You could put figures in and around the ring. I think that would look much cooler. That's my personal opinion. I know it might be easier to access the center of the ring with a steel cage, but for me, I'm thinking Hell in a Cell over the steel cage. But I have some figures to mention, some possibilities if the steel cage was the voted in one. So let's talk about it. Number one, you know you're talking to a Jeff Hardy fan, so I gotta mention Jeff Hardy. And the reason I do is because today, as of this recording, they dropped a Hardy Boys merch t-shirt on WWE Shop, which I did already order. Looked sick. And apparently they might be trying to do a main roster run in the summertime. That's kind of the rumor mill. Again, don't take it to heart. It's just from what I'm hearing is the Hardys could be coming back in the summertime. This thing could be being announced in the summertime. If Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy are under some type of Legends contract and they can make figures, maybe you get Jeff Hardy versus CM Punk in the steel cage in that retirement match that sent Jeff Hardy packing in 2008, and all the kids like me crying. I was crying my eyes out when Jeff Hardy left. I'll admit it. I'll admit that. But maybe we get that. That would be sick to see an Ultimate Edition form. That long hair CM Punk with the white and black trunks with the cast. He had like a sling on too. That was a great match. So again, maybe I'm overselling it because it had such a deep impact on me. Made me hate CM Punk. Made me love Jeff Hardy even more. But at that time, I really liked that match. So that's a possibility. Talking about Jeff Hardy again, what about Jeff Hardy versus Umaga? And we get a big Ultimate Umaga figure. That would be pretty cool too, and I'm pretty sure they got Umaga under contract. We've seen him getting these Legends figures as different characters. Why not maybe get an Umaga Ultimate with Jeff Hardy doing the Whisper in the Wind right off the steel cage? That could be pretty cool as well. Another option, and these are just matches that I saw for historic steel cage matches. Some of them, honestly, I have not even seen. I'm going to be real honest here. But we got the Hardys versus Edge and Christian. This is one that I did see. A lot of cool spots in that match. 4 characters that obviously we can't get. It's just me dreaming. We're not getting Christian and Edge. They're in AEW. But that would be pretty cool. I mean, again, this is just me venting here. How about another one that's not happening but would have been cool with the blue steel cage? Would have been Owen versus Brett. Again, I know I'm dreaming. Bear with me. And of course, this is one that we actually could see, which would be JBL versus Eddie Guerrero, Friday Night SmackDown, another SmackDown steel cage match, and just one that I think would be cool. We don't have a JBL like in a long time. We got one in the Ruthless line, but he was wearing red, white, and blue. I don't know, I didn't really love that figure. I kind of wanted the JBL that we saw in like Elite Series. Oh man, it was like 19 or 20, so something way far back like that. Maybe Elite Series 21. I can't really remember, but that JBL, that was the spot on JBL. And if we could get an Ultimate Edition of that with an Eddie Guerrero with, you know, I think he had turquoise on in that match, or like turquoise lines on the black pants with gold boots, that would be fire. So I don't know, you guys let me know about the steel cage. Those are my ideas. Maybe we see that happen, I don't know. If we got the modern elimination chamber, again, a very cool display, very cool piece. I wouldn't be mad about it, but the figures I was like not thrilled about when I was trying to make sense of who we could get in that new modern elimination chamber playset, or a crowdfunder. I should really keep calling it a crowdfunder and not a playset, because we're going to be the ones that fund this. It's not going to be sitting at Target. This would be directly shipped to your front porch whenever it drops. But the names that I came up with as a base, I was thinking Bray Wyatt winning the WWE Championship, and I couldn't exactly remember if, again, like, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, were these matches even in the new style, or is the new style like so new that it's like 2 years old? I don't remember when they made the new taller chamber come into the play of the pay-per-view. I don't remember when that was incorporated, so bear with me if I'm wrong here, but I'm just going off of my own memory thinking, okay, Bray Wyatt winning the WWE Championship in 2018-ish. Maybe there was that taller cage then, because they were starting to have some crazy spots where guys could actually go on top of the pods. So again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say Bray Wyatt. Another one would be, if again I'm in the right timeline, maybe Alexa Bliss, when she was I think she was the Raw Women's Champion with the red women's title. So maybe you get an Alexa Bliss with the different attire than we saw in the Ultimate line when she was with the Fiend. I had Mickie James down here as another name. She was 2018 as well in that same match with Alexa Bliss. Just another name who obviously on the LFG show, she's a Hall of Famer, I think. Maybe soon to be Hall of Famer. But either way, Mickie James is somebody that I definitely think could be a cool Ultimate to get, especially in a crowdfund. And the last one I had in there was 2017, which I think is a little bit too far back. Maybe we didn't get him with Bray Wyatt. I'm still thinking about that now. But I said The Miz. The Miz is somebody who hasn't gotten an Ultimate. Maybe you throw him in there if they make a modern elimination chamber. Just something I was thinking about. Those names came to my mind. Again, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong on that height difference, but I tried my best here, and we tried to get this video out ASAP, so hopefully I'm pretty on. Now we can talk about my top 2 options for this crowdfunder project by Mattel. I'm leaning towards the original Elimination Chamber or the Hell in a Cell, and as I started to make these figures in my head of what could be, and started looking up customs and started seeing guys like Falcon Customs and all these guys. I got to actually make sure I got his name right, because I have him right in the thumbnail, front and center. That CM Punk is awesome. Such a cool custom that he made up there, and I'll put his pictures here so you guys can see them. Look at, Falcon Customs on Instagram. Go check him out. Awesome figures, awesome customs, but that will lead me into the Hell in a Cell conversation, so let's get into it. I had for a base, and again, I'm kind of mixing and matching here, because Hell in a Cell, this is broad. We've seen a lot of different people in Hell in a Cell. We've seen a lot of different styles and colors. The red Hell in a Cell, we've seen the silver, obviously. There's a lot of ways you can go here, so I'm mixing and matching Ultimate Editions, hoping that we get guys that performed really well in Hell in a Cell all over the existence of the match type. So I got potential options here as Undertaker from SummerSlam 2008 against Edge. I have Mankind, when Mankind and Undertaker fought, but I feel like we already got some pretty close ones to those. We had an Undertaker from Series 11, which was kind of close to that attire, and we had Mankind obviously in the Monday Night Wars line at Walmart. Went blank for a minute there. Monday Night Wars line he was in, and that was pretty accurate as well to that timeline. So I'm not sure we're going to get either of those, but wrestlers that could be definitely in this. Also, you could talk about Bad Blood 1997, where you had HBK and Taker. That's another option for you right there. I think that was the first ever Hell in a Cell. So again, a pretty good option there. Two big names that you could get right off the rip. You could go WrestleMania 28 with Triple H and have Shawn Michaels as a referee. There's a lot you can do here. I also had Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar when Undertaker was coming out on the bike. You know, Rollin' was his theme song, I'm pretty sure, at that time. And Brock Lesnar was a pretty hot character, obviously, up and coming. So there's a lot of routes you can go with the Undertaker, but I feel like he would have to be an Ultimate if we did get the Hell in a Cell as the crowdfund. Some other names that I had here, maybe in the later tiers, would be a bloody CM Punk, like we talked about. I would love to see this figure made. And again, a crowdfund, I feel like they stay away from the bloody figures because of the kid demographic, or like the family demographic that WWE has. But in reality, this is a crowd-funded project. So if people are putting up 300, 350, maybe we get a bloody figure. Maybe we get a CM Punk or a Drew McIntyre from Bad Blood. I think it would be sick. You throw in some cool accessories in there, like the toolbox that cracked open Drew McIntyre. I don't know. I feel like that would be pretty cool. But another one I had was Cactus Jack from No Way Out. 2000 was the year for that one. Cactus Jack Ultimate. Maybe not the most sought after, but somebody we don't have in that attire. And I even put Cody Rhodes with the torn pec. I know we have the defining moments, but we could get a molded jacket. You know, I know they threw the soft goods jacket on the re-release from the vault of that defining moments with the torn pec. But we could get a molded jacket. We could get, I mean, it's going to be similar. Maybe some new head scans. It was just an idea I threw out there. But those are some really good names that I would be in favor of if we could get this Hell in a Cell made. Let me know what you think about those names in the comments section, or who you would want to see. Lastly, let's get into this Elimination Chamber, the Classic. So again, going into a crowd-funded chamber, I've got some figures here that are maybe long shots, but people that I think could fit this really well. One would be Shawn Michaels from 2002. I think it was Survivor Series, where he won the World Heavyweight Championship, came back with the short hair. We already have this figure in elite form, but a lot of people, like myself, didn't love the head scan on this. I felt like it was just a little animated. It didn't really look too much like Shawn, in my opinion. I love the attire, though. I love the attire choice. I love the hair mold that they put on him. I thought it was overall pretty solid figure. But if they wanted to redo it in Ultimate Edition form, I think it would look even better with like maybe 2 or 3 head scans. You know, that would be pretty cool. So he was one guy that I thought of. Again, maybe you give him a bloody head scan. He was pretty battered in that match, so that would be something cool. Another bloody guy that I thought of that would fit really well in the Classic Chamber would be John Cena from New Year's Revolution. Obviously, he was cashed in on by Edge, and we can't get an Edge because of, you know, AEW. But John Cena, all bloodied up. We don't have an Ultimate like that. We don't have an Elite like that. We're not really allowed to get those, I don't think, from Mattel, just based on the demographic, like I said, and the wide age range that the program has and the viewers that it has. But with a crowdfunder, maybe you can slip that in there with a head scan. It doesn't need to be the whole entire figure's bloody, but maybe you get a bloody head scan in there. That would be one that I thought of. He would move well. John Cena, you know, fan favorite in his last year with the company now. His last full-time run, I should say. Maybe somebody good or smart to put in a crowdfund. Another couple names that I had, some of the bigger tiers that I think would really try to get people to hop in and buy this would be Kurt Angle, Booker T, a bald Kane. You know, all those figures we haven't seen. So a guy like Booker T, a guy like Kane, Kurt Angle, they just made his Legends figure. It was right around that TNA time. So many cool attires for both of those wrestlers, Booker and Kurt Angle. But you go back to the chamber, you put them in their attires. These are going to be pretty big names. So that's why the Elimination Chamber for me is the one that I want. I want a bald Kurt Angle. I want a Booker T. You know, I want all of these Ultimates. So it would be really cool. I'm having a hard time now that I'm talking about it. Would I rather have the Hell in a Cell or the OG Chamber? Honestly, with the figures, I'm leaning towards the Hell in a Cell, I think. But for a display and just to have it one day, hopefully in a man cave, would be the Chamber. I mean, having figures in the pods and just recreating all the classic Elimination Chamber matches that we've gotten, it would be really cool. And I'm really glad that they came up with this idea to allow the fans and the collectors to vote and kind of say, hey, this is what we would want if these were the options. And it's not like they gave you 2 options. They gave us 5, which is really, really cool. So hopefully, I know my buddy Dave was saying maybe they let us vote on figures too. I doubt that, kind of. I feel like they have their plans already for each of these, and they're just kind of waiting to see how the vote plays out. That would be my guess. But you never know. Maybe they do that too, and then we're going to have a field day talking about that on here. But this was roughly my my guesses, I would say. Again, shout out to Falcons Customs for his awesome CM Punk work that's in the thumbnail. That thing is awesome. Go check out his Instagram. There was also a Booker T in there that I Google searched, Booker T Ultimate Edition, and that thing came up. I couldn't find who it belonged to, but an awesome custom there as well. I don't take credit for any customs. They are not mine. Those are all people that are way more talented than me in the custom realm or the figure realm, whatever you want to call it. So shout out to all of them. And shout out to you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this was a quick video. I think it's kind of long, I'm going to be honest with you. But we had a lot to talk about and a lot to catch up on. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. And let me know. Definitely drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this crowdfunder. Is it going to happen? Is it going to fail? What are your thoughts? What price do you think this thing's going to be? And how many Ultimates do you think we're going to get? Are they going to announce all the Ultimates right off the rip? Like, okay, you picked Hell in a Cell, it's going to come with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, that's it. Crowdfunder set at this price, that's what it is. Or is it going to be tiers? I don't know, because the tier thing kind of failed them last time with the Nitro stage, because it was Rey Mysterio and Hogan first, and then all the big dogs like DDP and Scott Steiner weren't until like thousands of backers later. Not thousands, maybe a couple hundred. You know, I over exaggerate. Puerto Rican, so bear with me. But I'm just saying, I don't know what to expect here. I have high hopes, but I don't know what to expect. Let me know, drop a comment. I won't carry on any longer. Thank you for being here. As always, take care. God bless, guys. And thank you again. Hope everybody's doing well.